Hello, and thank you all for having me once again. It is a pleasure to be back with all of you, and I hope I have this timed right. I can't see any responses or anything like that. I don't know. I know that you're all tuned in. I don't know exactly what's going on with it, but I want to thank you all. It's been a while since we've seen each other. Hello. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Casey Evans. I go by Caston George now. And I was the 2nd District Executive in Luzerne County for the Democratic Party from 2010 to 2014. And I put my 4 years in, and I said I was done. But I have actually wandered, for reasons that I still don't quite understand, into royal circles these days. And so I've taken to political impartiality. And there's great wisdom, I think, to be found in political partiality, which I'll get to in just a moment. But for all of you, I want to say hello to some old friends who I know are there, but it would be so long of a list I wouldn't be able to, it would take up all the time. And I know I only have a few minutes, so let's just keep this brief. I know many of you were there when Jaren was sort of the first lady of the district, and how can you forget someone as beautiful and as wonderful inside and out as that? We accomplished so much in my 4 years, and Jaren is certainly part of that. Jaren and I worked together. We got domestic partnerships recognized in Luzerne County 4 years before Pennsylvania legalized gay marriage. I'm told I should give you little breaks to applaud. You don't have to. We got a recycling program through, the first ever in that part of the county. We got a woman, and not just a woman, but a woman who was of a particular party, which I will not name, but usually has a donkey as its logo, as the first woman elected in that county's history and the first Democrat elected since Eisenhower was president. We worked together and we kicked out the natural gas industry with the Gas Drilling Awareness Coalition, Chief Williams, and in Canada Natural Gas Collecting, because Jaren and I went door to door with GDAC and we convinced people that clean water was more important along the pipeline and along the pipeline route. We convinced them that clean water was more important than the $80,000 checks they were getting from the gas companies. We uncovered vote rigging in the Democratic Party. And you'll also recall with me, I rather famously lost my position as party press secretary because I defended a Republican against a smear attack of homophobia and drug shaming, using pictures from her past. And I hope she doesn't mind me saying that because it is an old story now. But Tara Toohill, you've always had my respect, and I understand that you're running for judge this year. Good luck, madam. Good luck. All of that would not have been possible if it weren't for Jaren. Jaren was my constant companion, our first lady, if you will, of the 2nd District, and a sight to see and a force to be reckoned with. Jaren, of course, as many of you know, became late, which is my way of not using the term passed away, in this past January of 2020. We are still yet without the solace of justice for him. But we do intend to keep seeking it. But that's not what I wish to talk about today. I wish to talk about what the political impartiality and that experience have combined to teach me about politics. Why are you there? Those of you who are sitting in that room right now, why are you sitting there as you are? And don't tell me what your career choice might be or your career path or what you want to run for in the future. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is why you're sitting there. That's what you're doing there. I want to know why you're sitting there. What put you in this room today? For me, it was love. That's why I got involved in politics. As a young man, as a young gay man, as the first openly gay person to run and win elected office in our county's history. And in the county council race, and we got 4,675 votes. But I'm going to stop pausing for the applause breaks, because I find them very, they're self-congratulatory, and I don't like that. So, but I got into politics because of love. Because I was fighting for my right to love, and my right to get married. And how lucky was I? How lucky was I to find the love of my life while doing that? As an adult now, not much older, but certainly wiser, I find that these things are annoying, first of all. And I'm talking, of course, about the mouth on my face. not this, of course. But I have learned a few things about love that are worth sharing and universally applied and applicable in every instance and every occasion. And certainly the heart and soul of why I got into politics is love. Love is indefinable, but you can certainly tell what love is not by its opposites. And so what is the opposite of love? The opposite of love in 2016 from Hillary Clinton's campaign was hate. And I disagree, Mrs. Clinton. Hate is not the opposite of love. Hate is the absence of love. The opposite of love is also not anger. For anger, it turns out, is the frustration of love, or love expressed very poorly. The opposite of love is not fear. Sorry, Donnie Darko. For the opposite of fear is courage and fearlessness. No, my friends, the opposite of love is certainly grief. For if you have loved, and you have loved truly, you or your partner, or he or she whom you've loved, one of you will pay for that love in grief for the other. But my friends, what that tells us is that love is the most powerful force that there is, truly supernatural. And I'll tell you why. Because over time, although I will mourn Jaron for the rest of my life, I will not grieve him forever. And yet love over absence and time does not get weaker as grief does. It gets stronger with time. And so I have learned that yes, while grief is the price we pay for love, and Queen Elizabeth II is certainly right, which is where I get that quote from, it also means that it is the more powerful force of the two. Opposites, as we all know from science, tend to cancel each other out. But love overcomes grief. It overpowers grief over time, which means it is a more powerful force. It is literally supernatural, and it can transcend the barrier between even life and death itself. Love, on the other side, is valid currency. Grief and anger and hatred are not. And so you who are sitting in this room that I'm addressing, I ask all of you, to ask yourself the question as to why you're sitting in that room. What put you there today? For me, as a young man in politics, it was love. What put you there today? And so, I would urge you all to remember that lesson as you are candidates for office, as you are running for office, as you are working for candidates for office, and also, if you do have the grace of God and the public support to win, I urge you to do this. It's something that helped me in my very conservative district as a person who was not then very conservative. I don't make my political positions known these days. But do what I did. I found it very, very rewarding and helpful. Is to go into their homes, the people that disagree with you, the people who will never vote for you. Go into their homes. Sit with them, have coffee with them. Talk about them with their families and their problems. Listen, especially. Most importantly of all, listen. And then if you are in a position to act, then take action to help them. Now, many of you are going to sit there and you're going to think, Casey, you have been gone way too long. You've forgotten how the game is played. And no, I have not forgotten how the game is played, except that the game itself is poor. The game itself is a trap. To call it a game is even a trap, because it's not a game, it's people's lives. And so, while grieving and paying that price for love, what I've also learned is to be more like Jaron. And what Jaron would do is he would find the best. He would try to find the uplift, and he would try to find, even in a situation he detested, he would try to find the silver lining. And so, I urge you all to go and seek out the people who would never vote for you in a million years. Ask them why they didn't vote for you. and then find out how you can be a better governor for them. Go out of your way to do it. They may never vote for you. You have nothing to gain politically by doing that. That's why many of you are going to sit there and you're going to say that I've been away too long. But that's not the point. Political impartiality and working within more royal circles these days has taught me that governance is not about winning elections. Governance is not about getting an advantage over the other side. Governance is not about having a better deal after the election. Governance is about people's lives in the here and the now and in the future. More importantly, in the future. Because whatever measure of good that we do in life will be our legacy. And one day, each one of you in that room will be simply a legacy. And the truest standard of success, I think, is however long the good that we do in life lasts. Which is why tomorrow, on Jaren's birthday, I'm going to be cleaning up a park in Seattle, Washington in his honor and in his name. I'm taking that applause break right now as you're suggesting to me. I could see the message. And we're going to be doing that in his name because Jaren he's not a was, he's an is, because he still has work to do. I'm just more of his glorified interpreter. But we're going to be doing that tomorrow, and we will still seek the solace of justice for Jaren. And while we do that, I want you all to reflect on this. Remember, please, that it is far more important to govern best for the people who would never vote for you than it is to govern for the people who will. The people who are going to vote for you they're not the people you need to seek, even though all the parties are going to tell you that that's what you do during get out the vote and everything like that. No, that's not what you should do. Instead, count the people who are going to vote for you as going to vote for you anyway. And then go and find out how you can be the best governor that you can be for the people who won't. They may never vote for you, but that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it for the sake that it's being right. Right and doing right for right's own sake. And believe me when I say one day that will be the only thing that matters to you. One day you will only just be a legacy. A story to tell. Long after you leave this world and to the life of the world that is to come. What will they say of you? And more importantly than that, here's a better question, one that I've learned on an exquisitely painful level. That it is a most honorable thing, even if alone, even with no help, even with no resources, even with no one supporting you doing it, no word of encouragement. I think that one of the most honorable things that there is, apart from kingship, shameless plug, is to fight for the honor of a ghost. It is one of the most honorable things that there is, and I think, if I may be so bold as to say, one of the least selfish, if not the least selfish thing I've ever done in my entire life. And so I ask you, for any who doubt that love is the most important thing, the most important reason to get into politics and stay in politics and stay pure in politics and don't sell out and don't give in to corruption. Anyone who doubts that, any cynic out there, I ask you, who loves you enough? Who loves you enough that they will fight for the honor of your ghost? Who loves you enough that they will keep on swinging long after everyone else has stopped? Who loves you enough? Who believes in you enough? I believe in Jaren enough, and I know many of you remember Jaren. So I ask you, who will keep on swinging for you? And with that in mind, I wish you all the best of luck in your races. I wish you all the best of luck in your campaigns. And may your future in politics be one where each of you holds in his heart this idea that what unites you, no matter your party, in common interest, is far better and far greater on any day than what divides you in your common differences. Thank you all very much for hosting me once again by remote. And I was very surprised to receive the invitation. Thank you so much, Susan, for sending it. And good night to you all from Seattle. Take care.